Hey guys, welcome back. On today's show, we're going to be reviewing the Chameleon EMComm III portable antenna. That's right here, right now on ham radio for non-techies. All right, guys, as I said, we're going to be reviewing this antenna today that Chameleon sent out to me, and it says the EmComm III portable antenna. It's similar to the one we did before with the child lefts, a lightweight end-fed sloper, but it's got a couple different little things to it. So let's pop over to the desktop and get this presentation started. Okay, so my first thing, I have to apologize. This picture was a stock photo that I'd found. I should have taken a picture of the actual unit itself. And since I already have it set up downstairs, I can't really just bring it up and show it to you here. The actual unit that I got is a little bit wider and has two separate sections, two dips in the winder itself, one for the counterpoise and one for the actual antenna wire. Other than that, everything you see in this image here is pretty much accurate. So let's go ahead and go to the specs for it. Okay, the main features of the Chameleon EMComm III portable. First of all, this one runs about $145, a little bit cheaper than that child lefts that we did last time. This is a half-wave end-fed antenna. It is easily deployed, and I'm going to show you this here in a couple slides in a second here. Easily deployed for NVIS, inverted L, sloping, and inverted V configurations. The frequency range on this one, however, is a much broader spectrum than the previous antenna. This goes from 10 meters to 160 meters with a tuner. The power on this one is 100 watts single sideband and 50 watts CW. It does have an SO239 connector on the bottom of the actual antenna itself. It weighs in at about 1.5 pounds. And the two wires you get a 73-foot radiating element wire and a 25-foot counterpoise wire. Now, the other one had a little bit shorter wire, I think about like 10 feet. But I had to set this one up differently because I did not have the space available in my yard to really put this thing out where I want to. I wasn't going to get interrupted by trees and limbs and all kinds of stuff. And I'm not cutting any more limbs off my trees, guys. Sorry. It does come with carabiners and rings to ease setup. So like the other one, they actually thought ahead, has these dielectric rings on there, which makes deploying this thing very easy. The carabiners are great for offsetting the pull on the wires from the antenna when you have it deployed up on your pole. The entire antenna winds up into a nice sturdy plastic winder, which, like the other one, was very nice, thick, looked like CNC'd ABS plastic or something like that. It might have been 3D printed, but either way, it's strong and sturdy and will stand up. I think this is a great HF antenna for beginners. And if you live in an HOA area where you got those HOA Karens on you, this is probably a decent little antenna for you to have, be stealthy, if you can figure out ways of hiding how you put it up. I mean, just having one little black wire across your yard, no one's really going to see that. People very rarely look up anyway. Also, I want to just mention that ChameleonAntenna.com is where you get these, and I will have links to the actual instruction manual down below. So let's keep moving on. Like I said, this thing is deployed in 4 different configurations: NVIS, inverted L, sloping, and inverted V. So the inverted L and sloper configurations you see here, on the inverted L, you want the first part of your wire up 25 feet and the remaining 48 feet going out to an opposite side about 25 feet as well. If you're doing it as a sloper, then you'd have it also up about, I'm guessing, about 25 feet and having a slope down to 73 feet all the way to the bottom where you have the actual antenna base mounted with your 25-foot counterpoise wire on the ground. On the inverted V, which is how I set it up here, I set up on my spider pole 25 feet up, and I kind of guesstimated 36.5 feet and found the kind of like the center of that and have it just kind of sloping down there with the counterpoise wire heading out on the ground. So that's the preferred method I'm using because it takes up less space in the yard for me, especially with a wire that's this long. And the final way is doing the NVIS, which the NVIS, I really, on the last antenna, the NVIS configuration, I really got good reception on it. If you remember going back to that video when I was talking about the child left's antenna, it was really quiet. When I was pulling in stations on that thing, there was like no massive static in the background. It was very, very quiet. People were coming in nice and clear. Now, there's a multitude of things that could have caused that to happen, but The NVIS is really kind of cool. If you've got the room to put out a 73-foot wire, I'd probably suggest that'd be a good way to do it. So that is the NVIS configuration. Okay. So with that, guys, I think we're going to go downstairs. I will show you how I've got it set up in my yard, and then we'll pop inside and run it across a couple frequencies. I think we're going to try 40 meter and 20 meter today and see what we can pick up and see if we can make any contacts. I don't always make contacts. If I don't, I won't really put it in the video. So if you don't see me actually making contacts and just bringing in stations, that's why. So I'll see you guys downstairs. All right, guys, we're back in the yard again. As you can see, I've got it set up, like I said, in the inverted V configuration. So we're going to walk over to the actual base part of the antenna. The counterpoise wire is running right across here over to the base of the antenna. So I want to show you, like I said before, this one's set up just a little bit differently. So it's got a larger section on this side for your actual antenna wire, and the right side here is to wind up your counterpoise, which I thought was a nice addition. That little detail makes a big difference in winding this thing up and keeping all your wires straight. So other than that, everything else is pretty much the same as you see in the picture. I've got my Chameleon coax cable running back to the radio, and everything else looks like it's set to go. So we'll run inside and take a look and see what we can pick up on the stations.
2, 3, 4, 80, 80, 80, and this is 90, 90, 90. Hello, 1, 2, 3, and this is 100. Go ahead.
So we're working on the EmComm III portable, and as you can hear, we got a pretty clear signal here. Now the conditions today are rather poor, but this thing's still pulling through and giving me a good reception.
Smooth 90, I didn't hear much difference, and 100, as far as volume went, loudness didn't change, but it almost reached the edge to where it might start to tear if you go above 100. Okay, so I'm going to put it at 85 right now.
So I think that's pretty good so far. I'm going to keep scanning more channels on here and see what else I can pick up. This is just on 20 meter.
You've got a lovely voice and a beautiful signal. You're peaking S9 on my meter, okay? 73, Victor Echo 6, Charlie, Quebec, Western Canada, QRZ.
So we're currently reaching somebody up in Canada here. I'm going to see if I can get him to respond. Looks like he's calling CQ to get some HF contacts. So if his station stays strong here, then we'll make a contact here real quick. So I did try to make a couple contacts, and the guy that I was receiving from Canada, I couldn't get in. If you heard part of the transmission there, people were just piling on this dude left and right. So yeah, it was active, but he kept kind of fading in and out. I get him really strong sometimes, and I get him a little bit weaker. So I mean, you know, the time of day, the propagation right now, maybe there's a couple different factors. Could be me. Just not having good luck on HF today. That's nothing against the antenna. I'm picking up some dude in Canada right now, or was, and he was coming in nice and clear, like, you know, like he was almost like he's right in the room there. So my overall impression, again, Chameleon has done it. Another fantastic antenna. I only set it up in the inverted V configuration. If at some point in time I decide to go out there with the saw and cut more tree limbs down and try out the NVIS configuration, which is where I got a really good reception last time when I was using the child left's antenna. So my final thoughts are this. Who would benefit most from this antenna? I would say backpackers, those doing POTA, those who live in an HOA, they have to be a little more stealthy and keep things hidden and still want to have a full range of all the HF bands. Remember, this antenna goes from 10 meters to 160 meters, which is a great range of bands from a single antenna. As I said before, the setup and tear down is fairly easy. Takes about 15 minutes. Ask me how I know. And the final thing would be like, would I buy this antenna? And I'd say yes. For $145, if I needed to keep a small footprint and didn't want any limitations on the bands that I could reach and work and operate, I think this would be a great antenna for anybody looking for that wide range of features and function. So that's my 2 cents on this antenna. Now, you know, I've said this before, you're going to have multiple antennas. If you get into this hobby at all, you're not going to, you know, I was going to get one antenna and call it done. That's a crock. You're going to have multiple antennas. So it's good to have a variety of antennas for different things and play around with. I did play with that antenna for a little while on FT8, and I managed to get quite a few contacts on 20 meters in FT8. So that was kind of cool. And that seems to be my best bet so far, is doing FT8 with these antennas. I make all kinds of contacts. It's when I try to actually talk to somebody. You know, I think a couple weeks ago, I made my first HF contact, my very first HF contact as a ham radio operator. And I reached a guy over in Australia, and that was kind of cool. He wasn't too, it wasn't too bad. He was relative. I could hear him pretty okay. And I forgot what antenna I actually reached him on. It might have been one of the other Chameleon antennas here. Actually, you know what? I think it was. I think it was that lightweight end-fed sloper, that one I did the review on a couple weeks ago. So I was able to reach somebody over in Australia with that thing, and that was impressive. Anyway, guys, that is my review. Again, if you're looking for a decent antenna, you know, you get what you pay for with antennas. And yeah, they might have a little bit of a steep price, but look at the features you're getting with them. Look at the build quality. The overall customer service of Chameleon's been perfect for me. They've been really, really easy to deal with. And, you know, they back up their stuff. And I'll keep in mind, sometimes they go out of stock on a few things. It's only because they have a small team of people that are making these things. They're not being, you know, not going through a big factory in China and just, you know, cookie cutting these things and shipping them out. These are all made to a specific standard that Chameleon has set up for them. And, you know, you're gonna get a good antenna if you make the investment. So I highly recommend those. And, you know, again, you guys at Chameleon, you did a great job. Everybody else, links will be down below in the description. Anyway, guys, my name is Scott. My call sign is KI5MPL. This is Ham Radio for Non-Techies, and we are clear.